Have you ever noticed animals reacting strangely to someone before you understood why yourself? A dog suddenly avoids a visitor. A cat refuses to leave your side during grief. Birds appear repeatedly during major life changes. Most people dismiss these moments quickly. But what if animals are responding to emotional signals humans have trained themselves to ignore? Because animals do not navigate the world through social performance the way humans do, humans listen to words. Animals respond to pressure, tension, rhythm, breathing, emotional consistency, and that changes what they detect. 1. Why dogs sense conflict before humans admit it. Have you noticed dogs becoming restless before arguments happen? Not during the argument, before it. A dog suddenly leaves the room, starts pacing, positions itself between two people, or becomes unusually alert for no visible reason. Most humans notice conflict after voices change. Dogs often react during the emotional build-up. They are highly sensitive to breathing patterns, pacing, body tension, and suppressed emotional pressure. And here is the useful part. Watch your dog during emotionally complicated situations. Dogs often react before people admit what they are truly feeling themselves. That can help you notice tension you are unconsciously normalizing inside your environment. And honestly, once you see this pattern, it becomes difficult to ignore. 2. Why cats stay close during emotional collapse. Why do some cats suddenly become affectionate during grief, illness, heartbreak, or emotional exhaustion? People joke that cats are emotionally distant, and yet countless owners describe the same strange experience. A normally independent cat suddenly refuses to leave someone alone after loss or emotional breakdown. That may matter more than people realise, because grief often causes emotional withdrawal. People isolate, stop speaking honestly, disconnect physically from others. Animals sometimes interrupt that isolation quietly, not through advice, not through explanation, through physical presence. And that kind of calm companionship can regulate the nervous system far more than constant conversation. Watch for this during difficult periods. Animals often move closer when humans emotionally disappear into themselves. 3. Why birds appear during major life changes. Have you ever noticed unusual bird encounters during transition periods? Not just seeing birds, specific moments. A bird appearing repeatedly after loss, before relocation, during emotional confusion, after a major decision. Ancient cultures paid close attention to this pattern, not because birds predicted the future literally, but because birds became psychological symbols of movement and transition, migration, direction, departure, return. And humans still respond emotionally to those symbols instinctively. That is why certain bird encounters feel strangely personal during uncertain phases of life. Not because the bird is magically delivering a message, but because the human mind naturally searches for orientation during change. and nature often becomes part of that process. 4. Why horses react to hidden emotion. Why do horses react so strongly to emotionally conflicted people? Horse trainers speak about this constantly. A calm voice does not fool a horse easily. Because horses monitor physical truth more than verbal performance. Breathing changes, muscle tension, movement rhythm, internal hesitation. Humans often separate emotion from the body. Animals rarely do, and this becomes surprisingly useful once you understand it. People sometimes believe they are calm, while their nervous system is broadcasting stress clearly through posture and movement. Horses often react to the emotional state beneath the performance, not the mask. And perhaps humans would understand each other better if they paid more attention to physical signals instead of words alone. 5. Why some animals refuse certain rooms. Have you ever noticed pets avoiding specific rooms or areas repeatedly? A dog refuses a hallway. A cat avoids one room entirely. Birds become distressed in certain spaces. Most people laugh this off until the pattern keeps repeating. Animals experience environments differently than humans. They detect sound frequencies, smell traces, pressure shifts, and movement changes more intensely. But animals also seem highly reactive to emotional atmosphere, especially prolonged tension. Humans normalize unhealthy environments surprisingly quickly. Animals often do not, and this can actually teach us something important. Notice how your body feels in different spaces. Some environments quietly calm the nervous system, others slowly exhaust it. Most people notice this too late. Animals often react immediately. 6. Why injured animals approach certain people. Why do wounded or frightened animals sometimes trust one person instantly while avoiding others? This happens more often than people realise. An injured bird lands near one human. A stray allows only one person close. A frightened animal suddenly relaxes around someone unexpected. Some people project calm more clearly than others. Not perform calm, project it physically. Animals respond strongly to nervous system regulation. That is why anxious energy can frighten animals, even when the person speaks gently. The body communicates long before words begin, and animals appear deeply aware of this invisible conversation, which raises an uncomfortable possibility. Humans may be communicating emotionally far more constantly than they realise. 7. Why emotional exhaustion changes animal behaviour. Now this final one becomes difficult to dismiss once you notice it. Why do animals sometimes behave differently around emotionally exhausted people? Not ordinary sadness, deep exhaustion. Dogs become unusually protective. Cats stay unusually close. Birds approach more calmly. Even wild animals sometimes pause instead of fleeing immediately. That sounds exaggerated at first, until it happens during your own life. Because emotional exhaustion changes movement, attention, breathing, posture, and emotional intensity in subtle but measurable ways. Animals notice immediately. And perhaps this is the hidden truth underneath all of this. Animals are not necessarily psychic. They may simply remain connected to layers of emotional communication humans have learnt to suppress, ignore, or override. And once you begin noticing these patterns, you start understanding that nature may be responding to human emotion far more often than modern life allows us to see.